Welcome to this very special episode of our program Arab Affairs. Today we'll be speaking about a very important visit the President is carrying out with. The President headed this morning to Sudan, where he is meeting with the President of the Sudanese Sovereign Council, the Prime Minister, and a number of high-ranking officials. The visit itself is very important because it comes to consolidate and to reiterate the President's words of Egypt's keenness to support the Sudanese brothers at this very critical stage passing by Sudan. Also to discuss a number of regional and continental issues. Atop of them is the issue of the Renaissance Dam. We'll be speaking about that. Let me take with us over the phone Ambassador Mohamed Hegazy, former Assistant Foreign Minister. Good afternoon to you, Ambassador Hegazy.
Good afternoon to you, Mona.
This is a very crucial visit the President is making. It's for the very first time since the formation of the new presidential or Sudanese Sovereign Council. You're reading to the visit.
Well, Mona, as you have rightly stated, the visit comes in a very critical moment where the whole region, the Horn of Africa, East Africa, is in turmoil. The internal situation in Ethiopia in relation to the confrontation in the Tigray, the attacks of the Ethiopian troops on the Sudanese border, as well as the movements of troops at the eastern borders from the Eritrean side to Sudan, as well as the instability in Chad as well as Somalia, makes an important threat to the free navigation and stability in the Red Sea, as well as the whole region requires some sort of tranquility and assurances to Sudan, particularly in a moment where the negotiation of the Renaissance Dam in Ethiopia is coming to a very important stage, where Ethiopia has announced the intention to refill to the second refill of the Renaissance Dam, as it has unilaterally made the first refill, which imposes an existential, as it is always described, threat to both national security of Egypt and Sudan. So that the visit comes also on a time where the bilateral ties between the two countries have witnessed a lot of progress. Dr. Mariam Sadiq al-Mahdi was in Cairo, the foreign minister of Sudan, as well as our chief of staff was in Khartoum in a bilateral military committee talks, and it has clearly sent a message that Egypt will politically and military and security and from a strategic point of view will stand firm to support Sudan stability as well as regain regional tranquility. I'm sure that this visit comes in a moment where Egypt is trying to regain back trust between the parties to the negotiation. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi clearly supported the Sudanese initiative to call the four international most important players, the UN, the African Union, the European Union, and the United States as a quartet to safeguard the current stalemate in the negotiation and to move the parties, Egypt, Sudan, and Ethiopia, further to reach an agreement to attain a complete legal binding framework that will allow both parties, Ethiopia to continue its development and Egypt to safeguard the rightful share of the Blue Nile water. And
yes,
I'm sure that this can be attained if the political will exists. And it is in Egypt and Sudan who have expressed many times that their intention is to bring to the table a negotiated agreement that is acceptable to the three parties, similar to the one we have all agreed upon in Washington, but the Ethiopian have failed to show up. I wanted just to refer to the second part of this visit. Of course, as I mentioned, the first is strategic, political, over regional and defense.
But before we move to the second part,
is the bilateral ties between Egypt and Sudan, and
yes,
of course time has come that we transcend those agreements into reality and to transform the relation into strategic. Of course, rhetorics are always there between the two Nile Valleys people, and time has come that we move ahead with our dreams into reality.
Yes, Ambassador Hegazy, before we move to the second part of the visit, because the President will be meeting with a number of high-ranking officials from different sectors in Sudan, but let me first return back to the first part of the visit, because crucial topics were on the agenda. The President just met with the President of the Sovereign Council, Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, where they discussed a number of issues, and an urgent outcome came that Egypt reiterates its commitment to a binding agreement for all parties, the downstream and the upstream, meaning here the Renaissance Dam, Ethiopia and Egypt and Sudan. When we speak about the second filling here, because this is a very important part of this visit, as we are seeing some of the clashes on the borders between Sudan and Ethiopia. Let me here take it step by step. And we have heard that, or reports said that Ethiopia said it would renegotiate and rediscuss the issue of the second refilling with an interest that could go in the interest of all the three parties.
Of course, Egypt and Sudan, Muna, did not comment on the last Ethiopian declarations. Of
yes,
course,
we are speaking. Excuse me, Ambassador Hegazy, as we are speaking here, there will be the press conference that will be held by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and